Reply to March of DIMES, PSWs agency. March of DIMES, that clients are understanding of current challenges, with most being flexible when unexpected service changes. In today's rapidly changing business environment, service providers face a myriad of challenges in meeting the demands and expectations of their clients. From the impact of COVID-19 to disruptions in the supply chain, unexpected changes can arise at any time, forcing service providers to adapt and adjust their processes on the fly. Despite these challenges, many clients have been remarkably understanding of the situation, demonstrating flexibility and a willingness to work with their providers to overcome whatever obstacles may come their way. In this article, we explore the ways in which clients have responded to unexpected changes in service delivery, and how service providers can respond in kind with flexibility, transparency, and resilience to build strong, long-lasting client relationships. Introduction: the new normal for service delivery. The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed companies to adapt to new ways of doing business, and customer service is no exception. With social distancing measures in place and a shift towards remote work, service providers must find new ways to meet client demands while navigating unprecedented challenges. Adjusting to the impact of COVID-19. The pandemic has had a profound impact on the service industry, with many providers experiencing disruptions in their operations and an increased demand for flexibility from their clients. The need to maintain social distancing and ensure employee safety has forced many providers to make changes to their service delivery, such as shifting to remote work or reducing in-person interactions. Challenges in meeting client demands. Meeting client demands has become more challenging than ever before due to the pandemic. Providers must now contend with increased client expectations for flexible service delivery, while also navigating potential disruptions to their operations and supply chains. Adapting to change, understanding the current challenges. Overview of current industry trends. In response to the pandemic, many service providers have shifted towards remote work and digital delivery models. Trends like contactless delivery and virtual customer service have emerged as companies work to meet the new demands of their clients. Identifying potential service disruptions. Providers must also be aware of the potential for service disruptions due to the pandemic. Supply chain disruptions, reduced staffing levels, and changing client demands can all create challenges for service providers. Identifying potential disruptions and developing strategies to address them is key to maintaining quality service delivery. Clients' perspective, how they are responding to service changes. The importance of client feedback. Client feedback is essential for service providers to understand the impact of their service changes. Providers must actively seek out feedback from their clients to understand what is working and what needs improvement. Responses to unexpected changes in service delivery. While some clients may be hesitant to embrace service changes at first, most have been understanding and flexible in response to the pandemic. Clients who have previously been resistant to remote work or digital service delivery are now more open to these options, recognizing the importance of safety and flexibility. Flexibility and understanding, key factors in maintaining client relationships. Strategies for maintaining open lines of communication. Maintaining open lines of communication with clients is essential for maintaining positive relationships. Providers must proactively communicate with clients about any service changes or disruptions to ensure that they are informed and prepared. Building trust through transparency and flexibility. Transparency and flexibility are key to building trust with clients. Providers who are honest and open about the challenges they are facing and the steps they are taking to address them are more likely to maintain positive relationships with their clients, even during difficult times. The importance of communication and transparency. In today's rapidly changing world, individuals and businesses alike are experiencing unprecedented levels of uncertainty and volatility. Amidst this turbulence, communication and transparency have become more important than ever in building strong client relationships. Clients value honesty and open communication, and providing them with regular updates on service changes or unexpected events can help build trust and foster long-term relationships. Proactive communication strategies to keep clients informed. Proactive communication involves reaching out to clients before they reach out to you. This helps alleviate any concerns or anxieties they may have about the service or product they are receiving. Regular communication can include weekly or monthly updates, progress reports, or even just a quick check-in to see how things are going. By keeping your clients informed regularly and proactively, you can help build trust and create opportunities for feedback and constructive criticism. The role of transparency in building strong client relationships. Transparency is crucial in building strong client relationships. Being transparent means being truthful and forthcoming about any potential issues or challenges that may arise. This is particularly important in today's environment, where clients may be experiencing difficulties themselves. By being transparent, you can build a sense of trust and authenticity with your clients, which can lead to more loyal and engaged relationships. Setting realistic expectations, managing client needs and demands. Setting realistic expectations is key in managing client needs and demands. This involves aligning the client's expectations with what is realistically achievable, and communicating this effectively. By setting realistic expectations, you can help manage client expectations and avoid any misunderstandings or miscommunications. Establishing realistic service expectations with clients. Establishing realistic service expectations is an ongoing process that requires regular communication and feedback. This can involve setting clear goals and objectives, outlining the expected time frame for delivery, and keeping clients updated on progress. By establishing realistic service expectations, you can help build trust, manage expectations, and deliver a product or service that meets the client's needs. Managing client demands in a changing environment. In a rapidly changing environment, managing client demands can be challenging. This requires flexibility, adaptability, and an open mind. It is important to be responsive to changing needs and expectations, and to work collaboratively with clients to find solutions that meet their needs. By being proactive and responsive to changing demands, you can help build trust, foster loyalty, and create long-term relationships. Navigating uncertainty, strategies for overcoming unexpected challenges. Navigating uncertainty requires a combination of planning, preparation, and flexibility. This involves anticipating potential challenges, creating contingency plans, and being prepared to respond quickly and effectively when things go wrong. Preparing for unexpected changes in service delivery. Preparing for unexpected changes in service delivery requires a proactive approach to risk management. This involves anticipating potential risks and developing contingency plans for how to respond if they occur. By developing contingency plans, you can minimize the impact of unexpected changes on your clients, and maintain their trust and confidence in your service. Responding to unexpected challenges with agility and resilience. Responding to unexpected challenges requires agility and resilience. This involves maintaining a positive attitude, staying flexible and adaptable, and being prepared to pivot quickly when necessary. By being agile and resilient, you can respond to unexpected challenges effectively, minimize the impact on your clients, and build trust and confidence in your ability to deliver. Conclusion: building resilient client relationships in times of change. Building resilient client relationships in times of change requires a combination of communication, transparency, setting realistic expectations, and navigating uncertainty. By being proactive and focusing on building trust and loyalty, you can create long-term relationships that weather the storms of change. The importance of flexibility and open communication in building strong client relationships. Flexibility and open communication are crucial in building strong client relationships. By being responsive to changing needs and expectations, and communicating proactively with your clients, you can build trust and authenticity that creates a sense of loyalty and engagement. Strategies for building resilience in a rapidly changing environment. Strategies for building resilience in a rapidly changing environment include being proactive, anticipating potential risks, developing contingency plans, and being agile and resilient in your response. By focusing on building resilience, you can weather the storms of change and emerge stronger and more resilient than before. In a business landscape that is constantly evolving, building resilient client relationships is more important than ever. By maintaining open communication, setting realistic expectations, and responding to unexpected changes with agility and resilience, service providers can build strong, long-lasting relationships with their clients that can weather whatever challenges come their way. Ultimately, it is the ability to adapt to change and overcome obstacles that will set successful service providers apart from the rest, and ensure a bright future for their businesses. FAQ. How have clients responded to unexpected changes in service delivery? Clients have generally been understanding of the challenges service providers face in today's rapidly changing environment. Many have demonstrated flexibility and a willingness to work with their providers to overcome obstacles as they arise. What strategies can service providers use to build strong client relationships in times of change? Service providers can build strong relationships with their clients by maintaining open communication, setting realistic expectations, and responding to unexpected changes with agility and resilience. By building trust through transparency and flexibility, service providers can establish long-lasting relationships that can weather whatever challenges come their way. How can service providers prepare for unexpected changes in service delivery? Service providers can prepare for unexpected changes by anticipating potential disruptions and establishing contingency plans to ensure continuity of service. Additionally, maintaining open communication with clients can help service providers stay ahead of potential problems and respond quickly and effectively when they arise. What role does transparency play in building strong client relationships? Transparency is a critical component of building strong client relationships. By keeping clients informed about potential disruptions and setbacks, service providers can build trust and establish their credibility as reliable partners. Open communication can also help clients feel more engaged in the process, which can lead to stronger, more collaborative relationships. Established trust relationships between staff and clients results in better service delivery and improved morale. In today's fast-paced and competitive service industry, building trust between staff and clients is more important than ever. Establishing a strong and positive relationship based on trust can enhance service delivery and significantly contribute to improving morale. Trust is a fundamental factor in human interaction, and it underpins the success of any service delivery relationship. In this article, we will explore the importance of establishing trust relationships between staff and clients, the benefits of doing so, and the practical strategies that service providers can use to build and maintain trust. Introduction. Trust is the foundation of any successful relationship, and the relationship between staff and clients is no exception. Without trust, service delivery suffers, and client satisfaction decreases. Conversely, when established trust relationships exist between staff and clients, service delivery improves, and staff morale increases. Let's explore the importance of trust relationships in service delivery and the benefits of building and maintaining these relationships. Definition of trust relationships. Trust relationships refer to the mutual belief and confidence between two or more parties that they will act with honesty, integrity, and competence towards each other's best interests. In the context of service delivery, trust relationships exist between staff and clients based on the expectation that staff will provide quality service and clients will pay for that service in good faith. Understanding trust relationships. Characteristics of trust. Trust in service delivery is characterized by reliability, competence, openness, empathy, and honesty. For clients, trust means they can rely on staff to meet their expectations and provide quality service. For staff, trust means they can rely on clients to pay for services and respect their expertise. Factors affecting trust building. Several factors affect how trust relationships are built and maintained, such as consistency in service delivery, clear communication, reliability, and expertise. Trust relationships are also affected by past experiences, cultural and social norms, and personal biases. The role of communication in trust building. Clear communication is essential in building and maintaining trust relationships. Staff should communicate openly and transparently with clients, providing clear explanations of services, pricing, and outcomes. Clients, in turn, should communicate their needs and expectations clearly and respectfully. Importance of trust in service delivery. Impact of trust on customer satisfaction. Trust is critical for customer satisfaction. When clients trust staff to provide quality service, they are more likely to return and recommend services to others. Trust also reduces client anxiety and increases their confidence in the service provider. Trust-based service delivery versus transactional service delivery. Trust-based service delivery focuses on building long-term relationships with clients based on mutual trust and respect. This approach results in better service delivery, increased client loyalty, and reduced conflicts and complaints. In contrast, transactional service delivery focuses on short-term transactions where there is little to no relationship between staff and clients. Benefits of established trust relationships. Increased client retention and loyalty. Established trust relationships lead to increased client retention and loyalty. Clients are more likely to return for future services and recommend services to others when they trust staff to provide quality service consistently. Reduced conflict and complaints. Trust relationships reduce conflicts and complaints. When clients trust staff to provide quality service and staff trust clients to pay for services, there is less room for misunderstandings and conflicts. Improved staff morale and job satisfaction. Established trust relationships also improve staff morale and job satisfaction. When staff feel valued and trusted by clients, they are more motivated to provide quality service and are more satisfied in their jobs. In conclusion, established trust relationships between staff and clients are essential for better service delivery, increased client satisfaction and loyalty, and improved staff morale. Building and maintaining these relationships requires clear communication, reliability, expertise, and consistency in service delivery. Strategies to build and maintain trust. In service delivery, trust is a critical component that can lead to improved outcomes for both clients and staff. To establish trust, there are several strategies that service providers can employ. Creating shared goals and values. When staff and clients share common goals and values, it can lead to a stronger sense of understanding and collaboration. Service providers can work towards identifying and aligning these goals and values with their clients, thereby creating a sense of shared purpose and trust. Consistency and reliability in service delivery. Reliability and consistency in service delivery create a sense of dependability and trustworthiness. Ensuring that staff are well trained, follow protocols, and consistently deliver quality service can increase client satisfaction and trust in the service provider. Transparency and open communication. Transparency and open communication build trust by creating an environment of honesty and openness. Service providers can foster trust by being transparent about their processes, policies, and decision-making, and by actively listening to and addressing client concerns and feedback. Challenges in building trust. While trust is critical to effective service delivery, building and maintaining trust can be challenging in certain situations. Common challenges include cultural and language barriers. Cultural and language barriers can create misunderstandings that may hinder the building of trust. Service providers need to be aware of these barriers and work towards developing culturally responsive practices that promote effective communication and understanding. Power imbalances and trust deficits. Power imbalances between service providers and clients can lead to trust deficits. Providers need to acknowledge these imbalances and work towards empowering clients through their service delivery practices, thereby building trust. Rebuilding trust after a breach. Trust can be undermined by service delivery breaches or mistakes. Service providers need to take responsibility for their actions, apologize when necessary, and work towards rebuilding trust through clear and transparent communication and by taking steps to rectify the situation. Conclusion. Establishing and maintaining trust relationships between staff and clients is critical for effective service delivery. By creating shared goals and values, being consistent and reliable, and fostering transparency and open communication, service providers can promote trust and improve service delivery outcomes. However, challenges such as cultural and language barriers, power imbalances, and trust deficits, as well as breaches in trust, can make building and maintaining trust difficult. Service providers need to be aware of these challenges and work towards developing culturally responsive, client-centered practices that foster trust and promote effective service delivery. Summary of key points. Building trust is critical for effective service delivery. Strategies for building trust include creating shared goals and values, being consistent and reliable, and fostering transparency and open communication. Challenges in building trust include cultural and language barriers, power imbalances, and trust deficits, as well as breaches in trust. Service providers need to be aware of these challenges and work towards developing culturally responsive, client-centered practices that foster trust and promote effective service delivery. Implications for service delivery practice. To promote effective service delivery, service providers need to prioritize the establishment and maintenance of trust relationships with clients. This requires developing culturally responsive practices that foster trust by creating shared goals and values, being consistent and reliable, and fostering transparency and open communication. Additionally, providers need to be aware of challenges such as cultural and language barriers, power imbalances, and trust deficits, and have strategies in place to overcome these challenges. By prioritizing trust relationships with clients, service providers can improve outcomes for both clients and staff. In conclusion, established trust relationships between staff and clients are essential for the success of any service delivery. It improves customer satisfaction, retention, and loyalty while reducing conflict and complaints. Creating shared values, consistency, and transparent communication are some of the strategies that can be used to build and maintain trust. By implementing these strategies, service providers can not only improve service delivery but also boost staff morale and job satisfaction. It is clear that building trust relationships should be a top priority for any business or organization seeking to deliver exceptional service and improve client outcomes. Frequently asked questions, FAQs. What is a trust relationship? A trust relationship is a connection between two individuals or groups based on mutual respect, honesty, and integrity. It is a positive and successful relationship built on the foundation of trust and confidence. What are the benefits of establishing trust relationships between staff and clients? Establishing trust relationships between staff and clients can lead to various benefits, such as improved customer satisfaction, retention, and loyalty. It can also reduce conflict and complaints, enhance staff morale and job satisfaction, and increase productivity and efficiency. What are some strategies to build and maintain trust relationships between staff and clients? Creating shared goals and values, consistency and reliability in service delivery, and transparent and open communication are some of the strategies that can be used to build and maintain trust relationships between staff and clients. How can service providers overcome challenges and rebuild trust relationships after a breach? Service providers can overcome challenges and rebuild trust relationships after a breach by acknowledging and taking responsibility for the breach, providing a sincere apology, and offering compensation or remedial action. They can also commit to making changes to prevent future breaches and communicate transparently about their actions. Requested staff exemptions are contributing to staffing pressures and scheduling challenges. Staffing exemptions, or requests for staff to be excused from work due to various reasons, have become a growing concern for many organizations and industries. While these exemptions may seem necessary and reasonable at times, they can contribute to staffing pressures and scheduling challenges that can negatively impact operations and employees. In this article, we will explore how requested staff exemptions are affecting staffing pressures and scheduling challenges, and what organizations can do to mitigate these issues to improve staffing efficiency and employee well-being. Introduction: explaining staffing exemptions and their impact. Staffing exemptions are a common phenomenon in workplaces today. Employers frequently grant employees exemptions that allow them to deviate from the standard work schedule or the general rules that apply to regular employees. While these exemptions may provide benefits to employees, they have far-reaching consequences on staffing pressures and scheduling challenges. What are staffing exemptions? Staffing exemptions refer to the granting of permission to employees to deviate from the standard work schedule or the general rules that apply to regular employees. These exemptions can be in the form of flexible scheduling, reduced hours, or alternative work arrangements such as telecommuting. Why are staffing exemptions an issue? Although staffing exemptions may provide benefits such as increased work satisfaction and a better work-life balance, they contribute to staffing pressures and scheduling challenges. Staffing exemptions can lead to a shortage of staff, increased workload, and reduced quality of care. Furthermore, scheduling challenges arise as a result of difficulty in creating staffing schedules, inability to cover shifts, and increased overtime costs. The consequences of staffing exemptions on staffing pressures. Shortage of staff. Staffing exemptions can lead to a shortage of staff as employees who receive exemptions are no longer available to work during standard working hours. This shortage can result in a lack of coverage, which can be especially detrimental in healthcare and other critical service industries. Increased workload. Granting staffing exemptions can increase the workload on remaining staff members, who may have to cover for employees who are not available due to exemptions. This can lead to burnout, decreased productivity, and increased employee turnover. Reduced quality of care. A shortage of staff and increased workload can lead to reduced quality of care for patients or clients in service industries, such as healthcare. This can result in negative outcomes for patients, decreased satisfaction for clients, and reputational damage to the organization. Scheduling challenges arising from staffing exemptions. Difficulty in creating staffing schedules. Staffing exemptions can make it challenging to create staffing schedules as the availability of employees varies. This can result in staffing gaps and the need to bring in temporary staff or rely on current staff to work extra hours. Inability to cover shifts. When employees receive exemptions from the standard work schedule, it can be difficult to find coverage for their shifts. Employers may need to offer overtime pay or other incentives to entice employees to cover the shifts, which can contribute to increased costs. Increased overtime costs. Staffing exemptions can lead to increased overtime costs as employers need to cover shifts that would otherwise be filled by exempt employees. Overtime costs can become a significant expense for employers and can add to staffing pressures. Factors contributing to the increasing requests for staffing exemptions. Lack of qualified staff. The shortage of qualified staff in many industries has led to an increase in requests for staffing exemptions. Employers may need to offer flexible scheduling or other exemptions to attract and retain qualified staff. Increased demand for certain skills. Employers may grant staffing exemptions to employees with specific skills that are in high demand. This can include IT professionals, nurses, and other specialized roles. Workplace injuries and illnesses. Employees may require staffing exemptions due to workplace injuries or illnesses, which can impact their ability to work regular hours. Employers should work with these employees to develop alternative work arrangements that meet their needs, without contributing to staffing pressures. The impact of staffing exemptions on employee morale and burnout levels. Staffing exemptions can have a significant impact on employee morale and burnout levels. When certain staff members are exempted from working certain shifts or performing certain duties, it can create resentment and frustration among other staff members who have to pick up the slack. This can lead to increased stress and burnout levels, which can negatively impact the quality of care provided to patients. Increased stress and burnout. When staff members are regularly required to work overtime or take on additional responsibilities due to staffing exemptions, their stress levels can increase significantly. This can lead to burnout, which is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that can have serious consequences for both the employee and the organization. Lowered morale and job satisfaction. Staffing exemptions can also lower morale and job satisfaction among employees. When some staff members are exempted from certain duties or shifts, it can create a sense of unfairness or favoritism. This can lead to a negative work environment and lower morale, which can impact the quality of care provided to patients. Decreased employee retention. Finally, staffing exemptions can also lead to decreased employee retention. When staff members feel overworked or underappreciated, they may become disengaged and start looking for new job opportunities. This can create a revolving door of employees, which can be costly and time-consuming for the organization. Ways to mitigate staffing challenges arising from staffing exemptions. Fortunately, there are ways to mitigate staffing challenges arising from staffing exemptions. By implementing these strategies, organizations can maintain adequate staffing levels, invest in employee training and development, and implement innovative scheduling solutions. Maintaining adequate staffing levels. One of the most important ways to mitigate staffing challenges is to maintain adequate staffing levels. This may mean hiring additional staff members to fill gaps created by staffing exemptions, or redistributing workload among existing staff members in a more equitable way. Investing in employee training and development. Investing in employee training and development can also help mitigate staffing challenges. By providing employees with the tools and skills they need to perform their jobs more effectively, organizations can improve the quality of care provided to patients and reduce the likelihood of burnout. Implementing innovative scheduling solutions. Finally, implementing innovative scheduling solutions can also help organizations to mitigate staffing challenges. For example, using technology to manage staff schedules or implementing flexible scheduling options can help to ensure that staffing needs are met while also accommodating staff members' individual needs and preferences. Conclusion: the need for addressing staffing exemptions to improve staffing efficiency. In conclusion, staffing exemptions can contribute to staffing pressures and scheduling challenges, which can have negative implications for employee morale, burnout levels, and patient care. By maintaining adequate staffing levels, investing in employee training and development, and implementing innovative scheduling solutions, organizations can mitigate these challenges and improve staffing efficiency. In conclusion, addressing staffing exemptions is crucial for organizations to maintain adequate staffing levels, improve employee well-being, and enhance operations. By understanding the consequences of staffing exemptions, identifying their contributing factors, and implementing effective solutions, organizations can mitigate staffing pressures and scheduling challenges. This will not only benefit the organization, but also support its employees by promoting a positive work environment and ensuring quality care and services. What are staffing exemptions? Staffing exemptions refer to requests made by staff to be excused from their work for various reasons, such as illness, injury, or personal reasons. What are the consequences of staffing exemptions on staffing pressures? Staffing exemptions can lead to a shortage of staff, increased workload on remaining staff, and reduced quality of care, all contributing to staffing pressures on the organization. How can organizations mitigate staffing challenges arising from staffing exemptions? Organizations can maintain adequate staffing levels, invest in employee training and development, and implement innovative scheduling solutions to mitigate staffing challenges arising from staffing exemptions. Why is addressing staffing exemptions important for employee well-being? Addressing staffing exemptions is important for employee well-being as staffing pressures and scheduling challenges can lead to increased stress and burnout, decreased morale and job satisfaction, and decreased employee retention. By addressing staffing exemptions, organizations can promote a positive work environment and ensure quality care and services. Management lack of effective resources/support/tools affecting staff turnover, teamwork, day-to-day operations, and trust in management. In today's fast-paced business environment, effective resource allocation, support, and tools are essential for organizations to thrive. However, management shortcomings in providing these resources can have significant consequences on employee turnover, teamwork, day-to-day operations, and trust in management. In this article, we will explore how a lack of effective resources, support, and tools affects various aspects of organizational performance and what strategies can be employed to address these shortcomings. We will also examine the importance of adequate resource management and how it contributes to long-term organizational success. The impact of management shortcomings on staff turnover and retention. In any organization, staff turnover can be a major issue that affects productivity, morale, and ultimately, the bottom line. One of the major causes of staff turnover is the lack of effective resources, support, and tools provided by management. When employees feel that they are not being given the necessary resources to do their job effectively, they may become frustrated and start looking for employment elsewhere. The consequences of inadequate resource allocation on employee turnover. Inadequate resource allocation can be a major contributor to employee turnover. When employees are given insufficient resources and are forced to work with outdated or ineffective tools, they may feel that their work is unappreciated and undervalued. This can lead to a sense of disillusionment and a lack of motivation, making it more likely that they will leave the organization. The importance of effective leadership in employee retention. Effective leadership is essential for employee retention. When management provides employees with the necessary resources and support, it creates a sense of value and respect for their work. This builds trust between employees and management and can lead to increased loyalty and motivation. Effective leaders also understand the importance of recognizing and rewarding employees for their hard work, which can contribute to higher levels of job satisfaction and retention. The role of effective resources, support, and tools in improving teamwork. In addition to affecting staff turnover and retention, a lack of effective resources, support, and tools can also impact teamwork within an organization. When employees are not given the necessary resources to work together effectively, teamwork can suffer, which can lead to lower levels of productivity and morale. The relationship between adequate resources and improved team performance. Adequate resources can have a significant impact on team performance. When employees have access to the tools and support they need, they are better able to collaborate and work together effectively. This can lead to improved productivity, better decision-making, and higher levels of job satisfaction. How supportive management contributes to a stronger team dynamic. Supportive management is essential for building a strong team dynamic. When employees feel that they have the support and encouragement of management, it can create a sense of camaraderie and trust within the team. This can lead to better communication, increased collaboration, and a more positive work environment. Overcoming day-to-day operational challenges with adequate resources and support. Day-to-day operational challenges are a reality for every organization. However, when employees are given the necessary resources and support to overcome these challenges, it can lead to increased productivity and job satisfaction. How insufficient resources affect daily operations and business efficiency. Insufficient resources can have a significant impact on daily operations and business efficiency. When employees do not have the tools they need to perform their job effectively, it can lead to delays, errors, and frustration. This can impact the quality of work and ultimately, the bottom line. The benefits of providing adequate support for employees to overcome daily challenges. Providing adequate support for employees to overcome daily challenges can have a positive impact on their job satisfaction and productivity. When employees feel that they have the support of management to overcome obstacles, it can lead to a sense of empowerment and motivation. This can lead to more efficient and effective daily operations, which can benefit the entire organization. Building trust in management, addressing resource and support gaps. Trust between employees and management is essential for building a positive organizational culture. However, a lack of effective resources, support, and tools can erode that trust and lead to a negative work environment. The negative consequences of a lack of trust in management on organizational culture. A lack of trust in management can have significant negative consequences on organizational culture. When employees do not feel that their work is valued or that they have the necessary support and resources, it can lead to a sense of frustration and disillusionment. This can impact morale, teamwork, and productivity. How adequate resource allocation and support can foster trust between employees and management. Adequate resource allocation and support can be a key factor in fostering trust between employees and management. When management provides employees with the necessary tools and support, it can create a sense of value and respect for their work. This can build trust and lead to increased loyalty and motivation. When employees feel that their needs are being met and that they have the necessary resources to do their job effectively, it can create a positive work environment that benefits everyone. The consequences of inadequate resources on employee morale and job satisfaction. When employees lack the necessary resources, support, and tools to perform their jobs effectively, it can have a significant impact on their morale and job satisfaction. It leaves them feeling frustrated, disengaged, and unsupported. When employees feel unsupported, it can lead to a high staff turnover rate, which can also be costly for the company. How insufficient resources affect employee morale and job satisfaction. When employees do not have the tools and resources they need to do their job, it can lead to feelings of frustration and inadequacy. They may also feel undervalued by the organization, which can cause them to lose motivation and interest in their work. This can ultimately lead to a lack of job satisfaction and a decrease in morale. The impact of resource shortcomings on employee performance and motivation. When employees do not have the necessary resources and support, it can be difficult for them to perform their jobs effectively. It can lead to a decrease in productivity and quality of work, which can ultimately affect the bottom line. It can also cause employees to feel demotivated and unengaged, leading to a decrease in their overall performance and potential. Strategies to address resource and support shortcomings in management. To address resource and support shortcomings, it is essential to identify specific gaps and develop effective strategies to bridge them. By doing so, organizations can improve employee morale, job satisfaction, and overall productivity. The importance of identifying specific resource and support gaps. To develop effective strategies, it is essential to identify the specific resource and support gaps affecting employees. This can be done through surveys, employee feedback, and other data collection methods. By identifying these gaps, management can develop targeted solutions that address these shortcomings. Effective strategies for allocating resources and providing adequate support to employees. There are several effective strategies for allocating resources and providing adequate support to employees, such as investing in training and development programs, implementing regular performance evaluations, and creating employee recognition programs. Additionally, providing employees with the necessary tools and resources can help them perform their jobs more effectively and efficiently. Empowering employees and management, bridging the resource and support gap. Empowering employees can help bridge the resource and support gap and improve overall job satisfaction and morale. By creating a supportive work environment where employees feel valued and respected, they are more likely to be motivated and engaged in their work. The benefits of employee empowerment in overcoming resource and support shortcomings. By empowering employees, they become more invested in their work and are more likely to take ownership of their roles. This, in turn, leads to increased productivity, improved job satisfaction, and a decrease in staff turnover rates. The role of management in empowering employees to overcome resource and support shortcomings. To empower employees, it is essential for management to create a supportive work environment that values and respects employees. This can be achieved through regular feedback, opportunities for growth and development, open communication, and providing employees with the necessary resources and support to perform their jobs effectively. The link between effective resource management and organizational success. Effective resource management is essential for organizational success, as it helps to create a supportive work environment where employees can thrive. How effective resource management contributes to organizational success. Effective resource management leads to increased productivity, better employee morale and job satisfaction, and a decrease in staff turnover rates. By allocating resources and support where they are needed most, organizations can improve overall performance and drive success. The long-term impact of adequate support and resource allocation on organizational growth and profitability. Organizations that invest in their employees by providing adequate resources and support can experience long-term growth and profitability. By creating a supportive work environment where employees feel valued and respected, they are more likely to be motivated and invested in their roles. This leads to increased productivity, improved job satisfaction, and ultimately, increased profitability for the organization. In conclusion, effective resource allocation, support, and tools are crucial for organizational growth and success. Management must recognize the impact of resource and support shortcomings on employee turnover, teamwork, day-to-day operations, and trust in management and take proactive steps to address these gaps. By providing adequate resources and support, organizations can foster a positive work environment that leads to increased employee morale, motivation, and job satisfaction. Ultimately, effective resource management is a key factor in achieving long-term organizational success. How does a lack of effective resources and support impact employee turnover? A lack of effective resources and support can lead to employee frustration, burnout, and job dissatisfaction. If employees feel that they do not have the tools or support necessary to carry out their job duties effectively, they may become more likely to leave the organization. This can lead to high turnover rates, which can be costly for businesses in terms of recruitment and training. What effect does a lack of resources have on teamwork? When employees do not have the resources they need to complete their work, it can lead to increased stress and tension within the team. Employees may become territorial over resources, which can create a solid work environment and decrease collaboration. Adequate resources and support, on the other hand, can lead to a stronger team dynamic and increased collaboration between employees. How can management address resource and support gaps? The first step in addressing resource and support gaps is identifying the specific areas where resources and support are lacking. This may involve gathering feedback from employees or conducting a thorough assessment of the organization's resource allocation processes. Once these gaps have been identified, management can develop strategies to address them, such as investing in new tools or technologies, providing additional training or support to employees, or adjusting resource allocation processes. What are the long-term benefits of effective resource management? Effective resource management can have a range of long-term benefits for organizations, including increased employee productivity and satisfaction, improved organizational performance, and decreased costs associated with turnover and recruitment. By investing in the resources and support necessary for employees to carry out their job duties effectively, organizations can create a positive work environment that fosters growth and success. Lack of education about, and enforcement of, MODC policies and procedures. The Municipal Office of the District of Cochrane, MODC, is a local government body responsible for providing various essential services to the residents of Cochrane. The proper functioning of the MODC relies on the clear understanding and adherence to its policies and procedures. However, despite the importance of these policies and procedures, there are gaps in their education and enforcement. This article aims to explore the lack of education about and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures. It will highlight the significance of education and enforcement, and the impact of inadequate implementation of these policies and procedures. Additionally, the article will provide possible solutions to improve the education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures. 1. Introduction to MODC policies and procedures. Overview of MODC policies and procedures. The Municipality of Dysart et al., MODC, has policies and procedures in place to ensure that it operates legally, ethically, and efficiently. These policies and procedures cover areas such as financial management, human resources, procurement, and public meetings. They are designed to ensure that the municipality is transparent and accountable to its residents. Significance of MODC policies and procedures. The significance of MODC policies and procedures cannot be overstated. They provide a framework for decision-making and ensure that all staff and council members are aware of their responsibilities and the procedures they need to follow. They also help to build trust and confidence in the municipality by demonstrating that it is operating with integrity and following best practices. 2. The importance of education and enforcement. Explanation of education and enforcement. Education and enforcement are two key components of ensuring that MODC policies and procedures are effective. Education involves providing staff and council members with the knowledge and understanding they need to follow policies and procedures. Enforcement involves ensuring that policies and procedures are being followed and taking corrective action when they are not. Why education and enforcement are important. Education and enforcement are important because they ensure that policies and procedures are not just a set of rules on paper, but are actually being followed in practice. Without education, staff and council members may not understand the policies and procedures, which could lead to mistakes or non-compliance. Without enforcement, there is no accountability, and policies and procedures may not be taken seriously. 3. Identification of current gaps in education and enforcement. Lack of education about MODC policies and procedures. One of the current gaps in education is that new staff and council members may not be adequately trained on the policies and procedures. Without this training, they may not be aware of the policies and procedures that are in place and how to follow them. This could lead to mistakes or non-compliance. Inadequate enforcement of MODC policies and procedures. Another gap in enforcement is that there may not be adequate checks in place to ensure that policies and procedures are being followed. Without these checks, there is no accountability for non-compliance, and policies and procedures may not be taken seriously. 4. Consequences of inadequate education and enforcement. Impact on MODC's operations. If there is inadequate education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures, it could impact the municipality's operations. Mistakes or non-compliance could lead to inefficiencies or legal liabilities that could be costly for the municipality. Impact on MODC's reputation. Inadequate education and enforcement could also impact MODC's reputation. If the municipality is not seen as transparent and accountable, it could erode trust and confidence in the municipality among residents and stakeholders. This could ultimately have long-term consequences for the municipality's ability to govern effectively. 5. Possible solutions to improve education and enforcement. Staff training and development programs. One of the possible solutions to improve education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures is through staff training and development programs. These programs should focus on educating staff members about the policies and procedures of the organization and how to effectively implement them. The training program should also highlight the importance of adhering to these policies and procedures so that staff members understand the consequences of non-compliance. Clear communication of policies and procedures. Another possible solution is to provide clear communication of policies and procedures to all staff members. This can be achieved through various methods such as emails, staff meetings, posters, and training sessions. The policies and procedures should be presented in a way that is easy to understand, and staff members should be encouraged to ask questions if they are unsure about any aspect of the policies. Strict enforcement measures. Strict enforcement measures should be put in place to ensure that staff members comply with the policies and procedures. This can include monitoring and auditing of staff members' adherence to the policies and procedures, and implementing consequences for non-compliance. The consequences should be clearly communicated to all staff members so that they understand the importance of adhering to the policies. 6. Implementation of solutions. Developing an implementation plan. To implement the solutions effectively, an implementation plan should be developed. This plan should include the timeline for implementing the solutions, the responsibilities of staff members involved in the implementation, and the resources required for implementation. Allocating resources for implementation. Resources such as time, money, and staff members should be allocated for the successful implementation of the solutions. The organization should prioritize the implementation of these solutions to ensure that they are implemented effectively and efficiently. 7. Measuring the effectiveness of enhanced education and enforcement. Monitoring progress towards the implementation plan. The progress towards the implementation plan should be monitored regularly to ensure that the solutions are being implemented as planned. Any deviations from the plan should be addressed and corrected immediately. Measuring the effectiveness of the solutions implemented. The effectiveness of the solutions implemented should be measured regularly to determine if they are achieving the desired results. This can be done through surveys or audits to assess staff members' understanding of policies and procedures and their compliance with them. 8. Conclusion and call to action. Summary of key points. In summary, lack of education about, and enforcement of, MODC policies and procedures can result in non-compliance and can affect the organization's performance. The possible solutions to improve education and enforcement include staff training and development programs, clear communication of policies and procedures, and strict enforcement measures. An implementation plan should be developed, and resources should be allocated to implement the solutions effectively. Progress should be monitored regularly, and the effectiveness of the solutions should be measured regularly through surveys and audits. Call to action for improvement. It is vital for organizations to ensure that their policies and procedures are communicated effectively and implemented consistently to ensure compliance. By implementing the solutions outlined, organizations can improve their education and enforcement of policies and procedures, resulting in better performance and outcomes. So, it is high time for MODC to take action and implement these solutions to ensure compliance and achieve its organizational goals. In conclusion, the lack of education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures has significant consequences for the proper functioning of the organization. By implementing solutions such as staff training programs, clear communication, and strict enforcement measures, the MODC can ensure the effective implementation of its policies and procedures. It is essential that the MODC takes action to improve education and enforcement and ensure that its policies and procedures are consistently followed, for the benefit of the organization, its staff, and the Cochrane community as a whole. Why is it important to educate staff on MODC policies and procedures? Educating staff on MODC policies and procedures ensures that they understand the expectations and requirements of their roles. This knowledge leads to better adherence to policies and procedures, which ultimately leads to better service delivery to the community. What are the consequences of inadequate education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures? The consequences of inadequate education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures can be severe. It can lead to inconsistencies in service delivery, a lack of accountability, and can have a negative impact on the MODC's reputation. Are there any specific solutions that can improve the education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures? Yes, there are several solutions that can improve the education and enforcement of MODC policies and procedures. Some of these solutions include staff training programs, clear communication, and strict enforcement measures. How can the effectiveness of enhanced education and enforcement be measured? The effectiveness of enhanced education and enforcement can be measured through monitoring the progress towards the implementation plan and measuring the impact of the solutions implemented. This can be achieved through the use of performance metrics and regular feedback from staff and the community. Recruitment and retention challenges affecting quality of service delivery, workload, and morale. Recruiting and retaining qualified staff is a significant challenge in service delivery, impacting quality, workload, and morale within organizations. The shortage of qualified staff, high staff turnover rates, and low staff morale can all contribute to reduced quality of service delivery, decreased productivity, and increased costs. Effective recruitment and retention strategies are crucial for organizations to maintain service quality and ensure customer satisfaction. In this article, we will explore the recruitment and retention challenges impacting service delivery, their impact on staff and organizations, and strategies for addressing these challenges to improve service delivery. 1. Introduction: Understanding the recruitment and retention challenges in service delivery. Overview of the recruitment and retention landscape in service delivery. Recruitment and retention challenges are an ongoing issue for many service delivery organizations. This is especially true in sectors such as healthcare, social services, and education, which rely heavily on a skilled and dedicated workforce to deliver quality services to their clients. While the specific challenges faced by each organization may differ, some common issues include a lack of qualified candidates, high staff turnover rates, and difficulty in retaining experienced staff. The significance of recruitment and retention challenges in service delivery. Recruitment and retention challenges can have a significant impact on the quality of service delivery, staff workload, and morale. When organizations struggle to attract and retain qualified staff, they may experience a range of challenges that can ultimately affect their ability to meet the needs of their clients, and negatively impact the organization as a whole. 2. Impact of recruitment and retention issues on quality of service delivery. Effects of staff shortages on the quality of service delivery. Staff shortages resulting from recruitment and retention challenges can have a direct impact on the quality of service delivery. When an organization is short-staffed, it can be difficult to maintain the desired level of service for clients. This may result in longer wait times, reduced availability of services, and decreased client satisfaction. How staff retention challenges lead to reduced quality of service delivery. Staff retention challenges can also lead to reduced quality of service delivery. When experienced staff members leave an organization, they take with them valuable knowledge and skills that are difficult to replace. This can result in a loss of institutional memory, decreased quality of service delivery, and increased workload for remaining staff members. 3. How staff workload is affected by recruitment and retention challenges. The relationship between workload and recruitment/retention. Recruitment and retention challenges can contribute to increased workload for staff members. When an organization is short-staffed, remaining staff members may be required to take on additional responsibilities to ensure that services are maintained. This can result in increased workload and stress for staff members, which can negatively affect their job satisfaction, motivation, and overall well-being. Impact of high staff turnover on workload management. High staff turnover resulting from recruitment and retention challenges can also have a significant impact on workload management. When staff members leave an organization, remaining staff members may be required to take on additional responsibilities to maintain service levels. This can lead to burnout, decreased job satisfaction, and higher turnover rates, further exacerbating recruitment and retention challenges. 4. The correlation between recruitment and retention challenges and low staff morale. How recruitment and retention challenges affect staff motivation and engagement. Recruitment and retention challenges can have a negative impact on staff motivation and engagement. When staff members are faced with ongoing challenges related to staffing shortages, high turnover rates, and increased workload, they may become demotivated, disengaged, and less committed to their job. The impact of low staff morale on customer satisfaction. Low staff morale resulting from recruitment and retention challenges can also have a direct impact on customer satisfaction. When staff members are demotivated and disengaged, they may be less likely to provide high-quality service to clients. This can result in decreased customer satisfaction and increased complaints, further compounding the challenges faced by the organization. Point 5. The cost of recruitment and retention challenges to organizations. Monetary cost of recruitment and retention challenges. Recruiting and retaining employees is an expensive process that can significantly impact an organization's budget. The cost of recruiting candidates includes advertising, interviewing, background checks, and training, all of which add up quickly. In addition, high turnover rates can lead to a loss of institutional knowledge and productivity, as new hires need time to adjust and learn the ropes. The cost of turnover can be up to 200% of an employee's salary, depending on the level and type of job. How recruitment and retention challenges affect organizational productivity. Recruiting and retaining employees also affects organizational productivity. High turnover rates can lead to decreased morale, increased stress, and reduced productivity as employees struggle to pick up the slack left by departing colleagues. It can also lead to a loss of institutional memory, making it harder for the organization to maintain quality standards and meet customer expectations. 6. Strategies for addressing recruitment and retention challenges. Effective recruitment strategies. To address recruitment challenges, organizations can implement effective recruitment strategies. They should start by defining their ideal candidate, creating a compelling job description, and promoting the position to attract top talent. They can also offer competitive salaries and benefits, provide opportunities for professional development, and use social media and other platforms to reach a wider pool of candidates. Retention strategies that work. To retain employees, organizations can implement effective retention strategies. This can include offering competitive salaries and benefits, providing opportunities for career development and growth, offering flexible working arrangements, recognizing and rewarding employees' achievements, and creating a positive work culture that fosters engagement and collaboration. Regular feedback, open communication, and addressing any concerns or grievances are also important for building trust and a sense of belonging. 7. Conclusion: the importance of addressing recruitment and retention challenges for effective service delivery. The potential benefits of overcoming recruitment and retention challenges. Addressing recruitment and retention challenges is crucial for organizations to maintain effective service delivery. By addressing these challenges, organizations can reduce the cost of turnover, increase productivity and morale, and maintain quality standards and customer satisfaction. It can also help to build a positive reputation and attract top talent. The role of leadership in addressing these challenges. Leadership plays a crucial role in addressing recruitment and retention challenges. They should create a positive and supportive work culture, provide opportunities for growth and development, and ensure that employees feel valued and recognized for their contributions. Leaders should also invest in employee training and development, maintain an open-door policy, and listen to employee feedback to understand their concerns and issues. By doing so, leaders can create a productive, engaged, and happy workforce that supports the organization's mission and goals. In conclusion, overcoming recruitment and retention challenges is essential for organizations to maintain service quality, reduce workload, and improve staff morale. By implementing effective recruitment and retention strategies, organizations can ensure they have a skilled and motivated workforce capable of delivering high-quality service to customers consistently. Addressing these challenges requires a strong leadership commitment, a willingness to invest in staff, and a comprehensive approach that considers the organization's unique challenges and opportunities. With effective recruitment and retention strategies, service delivery organizations can thrive in a competitive and ever-changing landscape. Why is staff recruitment and retention important in service delivery organizations? Recruiting and retaining quality staff is essential in service delivery organizations to ensure high-quality service delivery, customer satisfaction, and organizational productivity. Without skilled and motivated staff, organizations can struggle to maintain service quality, meet performance targets, and retain customers. What are the costs of recruitment and retention challenges to organizations? Recruitment and retention challenges can have significant costs for organizations, including the costs of recruitment, training, and onboarding new staff, the impact of high staff turnover on productivity, and the potential loss of customers due to poor service quality. What are some effective recruitment and retention strategies for service delivery organizations? Effective recruitment and retention strategies for service delivery organizations include investing in staff development and training, improving work conditions and benefits, providing opportunities for career growth and advancement, and promoting a positive organizational culture that values staff. How can organizations address low staff morale resulting from recruitment and retention challenges? Organizations can address low staff morale resulting from recruitment and retention challenges by improving communication and feedback mechanisms, providing opportunities for staff to contribute to decision-making, recognizing staff contributions and achievements, and promoting a positive organizational culture that values staff well-being and job satisfaction. Client and staff schedules require review and improvement. Better communication strategies needed that are respectful, timely, and reciprocal. Effective scheduling is crucial for the success of any organization that provides services to clients. In many cases, scheduling can be a complex and challenging process that requires careful planning, coordination, and communication between clients and staff members. Failure to manage client and staff schedules can result in decreased client and staff satisfaction, missed appointments, and even financial losses for the organization. This article explores the importance of reviewing and improving client and staff schedules. Identifying communication gaps in scheduling. Developing respectful and timely communication strategies. The role of reciprocity in effective scheduling. Streamlining scheduling processes to enhance efficiency, addressing common scheduling challenges, implementing best practices for successful scheduling, and the benefits of improved scheduling for clients and staff. Importance of reviewing and improving client and staff schedules. Scheduling is a vital aspect of service delivery. It ensures that clients receive services promptly, and staff members' time is efficiently utilized. However, ineffective scheduling can lead to poor service delivery, frustrated clients, and dissatisfied staff members. As such, it's crucial to review and improve client and staff schedules regularly. Significance of effective scheduling for service delivery. Effective scheduling is essential for service delivery because it ensures that clients receive timely and adequate services. It also helps staff members know what is expected of them and when. Additionally, efficient scheduling allows for better coordination of resources and helps avoid conflicts that may arise due to conflicting schedules. Consequences of poor scheduling on client and staff satisfaction. Poor scheduling can lead to clients missing scheduled appointments or receiving services after a long wait. This can cause frustration and dissatisfaction, leading to a decline in client satisfaction. Similarly, staff members may become overworked or feel disrespected when their schedules are frequently changed without prior notice. This can lead to employee burnout and high turnover rates. Identifying communication gaps in scheduling. Effective communication is crucial for efficient scheduling. However, communication gaps can occur when there is a breakdown in the communication process. Identifying and addressing these gaps is essential for effective scheduling. Common barriers to effective communication in scheduling. Barriers to effective communication in scheduling include poor listening skills, unclear messages, lack of feedback, language barriers, and time constraints. These barriers can lead to miscommunication, resulting in missed appointments, wasted resources, and low productivity. Strategies for identifying communication gaps in scheduling. To identify communication gaps in scheduling, it's essential to conduct regular check-ins and ask for feedback from both clients and staff members. This feedback can be used to improve communication strategies and ensure that everyone is on the same page. Developing respectful and timely communication strategies. Effective scheduling requires respectful and timely communication strategies. This involves being considerate of everyone's time and needs and communicating in a manner that promotes understanding and mutual respect. Characteristics of respectful communication in scheduling. Respectful communication in scheduling involves being mindful of others' needs, being polite, and avoiding confrontational language. It's also essential to ensure that communication is clear, concise, and free of jargon. Importance of timeliness in scheduling communication. Timeliness is crucial in scheduling communication because it allows for effective coordination of resources and helps avoid conflicts. It's essential to communicate schedule changes promptly and provide adequate notice for any changes. Best practices for developing effective communication strategies. Developing effective communication strategies involves assessing the needs of clients and staff members and implementing clear and concise communication channels. This can include regular check-ins, using online scheduling tools, and providing feedback mechanisms for both clients and staff members. The role of reciprocity in effective scheduling. Reciprocal communication in scheduling involves ensuring that both clients and staff members feel heard and valued. This can help build trust and improve communication between both parties. Definition of reciprocal communication in scheduling. Reciprocal communication in scheduling involves a two-way exchange of information between both parties. It involves actively listening to the needs of clients and staff members and providing feedback in a respectful and timely manner. Benefits of reciprocity in scheduling communication. Reciprocity in scheduling communication can lead to increased trust, improved communication, and better service delivery. It also helps reduce the likelihood of misunderstandings and conflicts. Strategies for facilitating reciprocity in scheduling communication. To facilitate reciprocity in scheduling communication, it's essential to provide feedback mechanisms that allow both clients and staff members to be heard. This can include regular check-ins, surveys, and feedback forms. It's also crucial to respond promptly and respectfully to any feedback provided. Streamlining scheduling processes to enhance efficiency. Scheduling is a crucial aspect of any organization that deals with clients and staff. Unfortunately, most companies still rely on archaic scheduling systems that are inefficient, time-consuming, and often lead to errors. These issues not only impact the flow of work but also reduce the satisfaction of clients and staff. To overcome these challenges, streamlining scheduling processes is essential. Current scheduling processes and their limitations. Many organizations still rely on manual or outdated scheduling systems, such as spreadsheets, phone calls, and emails. These methods are time-consuming, prone to errors, and lack the flexibility to accommodate last-minute changes. This often leads to double bookings, missed appointments, and confusion among staff and clients. Benefits of streamlining scheduling processes. Streamlining scheduling processes can benefit an organization in several ways. It can enhance efficiency by reducing the time and effort required to manage schedules, minimize errors, improve communication, and increase transparency. Additionally, streamlined scheduling processes can help organizations reduce costs, enhance client experience, and boost staff morale. Strategies for streamlining scheduling processes to enhance efficiency. To streamline scheduling processes, organizations can adopt several strategies. These include investing in scheduling software that automates scheduling tasks, developing a standardized scheduling process that defines roles and responsibilities, and establishing clear communication channels to ensure timely and effective communication. Addressing common scheduling challenges. Effective scheduling is not without its challenges. Organizations must overcome several hurdles to ensure that schedules are accurate, up-to-date, and meet the needs of both clients and staff. Common challenges faced in client and staff scheduling. Organizations can face several challenges when scheduling clients and staff. These can include unpredictable changes, such as staff absences, client cancellations, and scheduling conflicts, often caused by poor communication, lack of resources, and inadequate training. Strategies for overcoming scheduling challenges. To overcome scheduling challenges, organizations can implement several strategies. These include providing adequate training to staff on scheduling best practices, establishing clear communication channels, developing contingency plans for unexpected changes, and using technology to automate routine scheduling tasks. Implementing best practices for successful scheduling. Effective scheduling requires a well-defined process that incorporates best practices to ensure that schedules are accurate, up-to-date, and meet the needs of clients and staff. Principles of effective scheduling. Effective scheduling should be accurate, up-to-date, and flexible enough to accommodate changes. It should involve clear communication channels, well-defined roles and responsibilities, and a standardized process that incorporates feedback from both clients and staff. Best practices for implementing successful scheduling. To implement successful scheduling, organizations should adopt several best practices, including investing in scheduling software, establishing clear communication protocols, developing contingency plans, and providing adequate training and resources to staff. Additionally, organizations should regularly review and evaluate their scheduling processes to identify areas for improvement. Benefits of improved scheduling for clients and staff. Improving scheduling processes can provide significant benefits to both clients and staff. Benefits of effective scheduling for clients. Effective scheduling can enhance client satisfaction by reducing wait times, ensuring timely appointments, and reducing the likelihood of scheduling conflicts. It can also improve the overall quality of care and contribute to a positive client experience. Benefits of effective scheduling for staff. Effective scheduling can improve staff satisfaction by reducing the workload associated with scheduling tasks, minimizing errors and confusion, and increasing the transparency and predictability of schedules. It can also contribute to a positive work environment and improve staff morale. In conclusion, effective scheduling is essential for providing high-quality services to clients and ensuring staff satisfaction. It requires efficient communication, strategic planning, and a commitment to excellence. By implementing best practices and addressing common challenges, organizations can streamline their scheduling processes and enhance the quality of their services. Better communication strategies that prioritize respect, timeliness, and reciprocity can facilitate successful scheduling and improve outcomes for clients and staff alike. Why is it important to review and improve client and staff schedules? Reviewing and improving client and staff schedules is essential to ensure that services are delivered efficiently and effectively. Poor scheduling can lead to missed appointments, lower client and staff satisfaction, and even financial losses for the organization. By implementing better scheduling practices, organizations can optimize service delivery and improve outcomes for clients and staff. What are some common communication gaps in scheduling? Common communication gaps in scheduling include unclear communication, inadequate communication channels, and poor timing of communication. These gaps can lead to confusion and misunderstandings, missed appointments, and scheduling errors. Identifying and addressing these gaps can enhance scheduling efficiency and improve communication between clients and staff. How can organizations streamline their scheduling processes? Organizations can streamline their scheduling processes by adopting automated scheduling systems, standardizing scheduling procedures, and providing training for staff. By doing so, organizations can enhance efficiency, reduce errors, and improve staff and client satisfaction. What are the benefits of improved scheduling for clients and staff? Improved scheduling can result in numerous benefits for clients and staff, including better service delivery, increased client satisfaction, and improved staff morale. By improving scheduling practices, organizations can enhance the overall quality of their services and promote positive outcomes for clients and staff alike. As a client, and my perspective, enough is enough. Even before COVID pandemic there were issues with the above-mentioned PSW agency. As a client of a personal support worker, PSW, agency, I have seen firsthand the many issues and challenges that exist within the industry. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, there were problems with the quality of care and the level of support provided by these agencies. From my own experiences, I know that the PSW industry needs to change, and it needs to change now. In this article, I will outline the issues that I have encountered with my PSW agency, and why I believe that we as a society must take action to improve home care services for those who need them most. Introduction: why I am speaking out. As a client of a personal support worker, PSW, agency, I feel it's essential to speak out about my experience with the agency. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, there were several issues with this particular PSW agency that affected both the reputation of the agency and the quality of services provided. As a client who relied on the agency's assistance, I experienced frustrating challenges that made it hard to continue using their services. In this article, I will dive into the issues I encountered with this PSW agency and explain why I believe it's crucial to hold such organizations accountable. The issues with the PSW agency before COVID-19. The agency's reputation. When I first started considering using the PSW agency's services, I became aware of their poor reputation within the community. Their reviews on various online platforms were negative, and I had heard through word of mouth that they had a high turnover rate for their PSWs. These factors made me apprehensive about using their services, but I decided to give them a shot anyways. The agency's services. While the PSWs themselves were caring and professional, the services provided by the agency left much to be desired. I found that the agency made it challenging to schedule shifts with PSWs, and even when I did manage to book a shift, there were often issues that arose. For example, there were times when a PSW simply didn't show up for a scheduled shift without any notice. My experience as a client with the agency. Initial expectations. As a client, my initial expectations were that the PSW agency would provide reliable, professional, and timely care to meet my needs. However, these expectations were not met, and I became increasingly frustrated as time went on. Unmet promises. When I first signed up for the agency's services, they promised that they would always send a PSW to me who had experience in dealing with my particular needs. However, I found that this was not always the case. Several times I had PSWs who were not qualified or knowledgeable about my situation. Issues with PSW scheduling. The scheduling of PSWs was also a significant source of frustration for me. At times, I would book a shift with a PSW only to find out that the agency had overbooked them, or the PSW wasn't available after all. This left me without support when I needed it the most and caused a great deal of stress. Lack of communication and accountability. Difficulty in contacting the agency. Another issue I encountered with this PSW agency was their lack of communication and accountability. On several occasions, I tried to contact the agency to voice my concerns, and it was challenging to get in touch with them. Lack of communication with PSWs. I also found that the PSWs themselves were often left out of the loop when it came to scheduling and other important details. This made it difficult to build a consistent relationship with my PSWs and created unnecessary stress and confusion. Responsibility for PSW mistakes. Finally, when there were issues with specific PSWs, the agency seemed to be quick to place the blame entirely on the PSW. While I understand that PSWs are human and can make mistakes, the agency needs to take responsibility for their role in providing quality care and ensuring that their PSWs are adequately trained and supported. In conclusion, my experiences with this particular PSW agency were frustrating and left me feeling unsupported and vulnerable. I believe it's essential to speak out about these issues to hold such organizations accountable and ensure that they provide the best possible care to their clients. The impact of poor quality care on patients. As a client of a personal support worker, PSW, agency, I have personally experienced the negative effects of poor quality care on patients. The impact is widespread and can be felt physically, emotionally, and mentally. It's not uncommon to encounter PSWs who are rude, unprofessional, and lack the necessary skills to do their job. Examples of poor quality care. Some examples of poor quality care include neglecting basic tasks like bathing or feeding the patient, failing to follow safety protocols, and being unresponsive to the patient's needs. These actions can lead to severe consequences such as falls, infections, and emotional distress. The physical and emotional toll on patients. Patients who receive poor quality care may experience physical and emotional trauma. Patients who are not properly attended to may suffer from bed sores, pressure ulcers, and malnutrition. Patients who are not treated with empathy or respect may feel isolated, depressed, and anxious. It's essential to provide quality care to ensure that patients receive the necessary support they need. Inadequate training and support for PSWs. One of the primary reasons for the poor quality of care is the inadequate training and support provided to PSWs. PSWs require proper qualifications, training, and ongoing support to provide quality care. PSW training and qualifications. PSWs need to have the right qualifications and training to be competent in their work. It's crucial to have programs in place that equip PSWs with the necessary skills, knowledge, and expertise to meet the patient's needs. Lack of support for PSWs. Lack of support for PSWs prevents them from providing quality care. PSWs require appropriate compensation, work hours, and job security to ensure they can focus on delivering quality care. The need for change in the home care industry. The home care industry requires immediate reform to improve the quality of care delivery. Reform and regulation in the industry. The government must regulate the home care industry to ensure PSWs receive proper training and qualifications. This will ensure that the standard of care delivery is maintained and drastically reduce the instances of poor quality care and patient neglect. The importance of advocating for better care. Advocating for better care is essential in bringing about the necessary change in the industry. Patients, caregivers, and other stakeholders should work together to demand better care, improved working conditions for PSWs, and more significant investments in the home care industry. Conclusion: calling for action and change. The home care industry requires immediate action and change to ensure that patients receive quality care. Possible solutions for improving home care. Some possible solutions include mandatory qualifications and training, stricter regulation and oversight, and increased investment in the industry. The importance of speaking out and taking action. As a client, it's essential to speak out and take action against poor quality care. Advocacy efforts must be aligned to bring about meaningful change in the industry. Ultimately, it's essential to prioritize patient care and safety to ensure that every patient receives the quality care they deserve. It's time for change in the home care industry. I hope that by sharing my experiences and insights, we can start a conversation about what needs to be done to improve the quality of care for vulnerable individuals. Let's demand better training, support, and accountability for PSWs and their agencies. Together, we can work towards a future where home care is a source of comfort and security, rather than a source of frustration and disappointment. Frequently asked questions. What can I do if I am having issues with my PSW agency? If you are having issues with your PSW agency, it's important to speak up and voice your concerns. Start by contacting the agency and explaining the issues you are experiencing. If that doesn't work, consider reaching out to advocacy groups or government agencies that oversee home care services. What should I look for when choosing a PSW agency? When choosing a PSW agency, look for agencies that have a good reputation, offer comprehensive services, and have a high level of accountability. You may also want to consider agencies that offer training and support for their PSWs. What can I expect from a good PSW agency? A good PSW agency should provide quality care, reliable PSWs, and good communication with clients. They should also offer a range of services and have clear policies and procedures in place to ensure the safety and well-being of their clients. What can I do to advocate for better home care services? Advocating for better home care services starts with speaking up and sharing your experiences. You can also get involved with advocacy groups or community organizations that work to improve home care services. Finally, you can contact your elected officials and urge them to support policies and initiatives that improve home care services for all. It's time to bring in outside officials to investigate LHIN and all PSW agencies throughout Durham region. The Local Health Integration Network, LHIN, and Personal Support Worker, PSW, agencies in Durham region have come under fire for insufficiencies in care services and reports of neglect and abuse. Previous investigations have been conducted, but many believe that the time has come to bring in outside officials to thoroughly investigate the situation. In this article, we will explore the benefits of such an investigation, potential challenges and resistance, and steps forward to implement changes and improvements. Ultimately, the goal is to address the needs of patients and caregivers in Durham region, and to ensure that the LHIN and PSW agencies are held accountable for providing quality care. Introduction to the issues with LHIN and PSW agencies in Durham region. Long-term care facilities and personal support worker, PSW, agencies in Durham region have been under scrutiny for their quality of care and management practices for some time now. Issues like understaffing, inadequate training, and poor working conditions have been highlighted by concerned family members, healthcare workers, and residents themselves. These concerns have been further exacerbated by reports of neglect and abuse. Insufficiencies in care services. One major issue with long-term care facilities and PSW agencies in Durham region is the lack of sufficient care services available to those in need. Many residents and patients report having to wait extended periods of time for basic needs such as bathing or assistance with using the restroom. Additionally, many facilities are understaffed, leading to overworked and exhausted PSWs who are unable to provide the level of care necessary. Reports of neglect and abuse. Reports of neglect and abuse have also been brought to light in recent years. These include incidents of physical and emotional abuse, as well as neglect of basic needs such as food, water, and hygiene. These reports have been met with outrage from family members and healthcare workers alike, sparking demands for increased accountability and transparency in the management of long-term care facilities and PSW agencies. Previous investigations into LHIN and PSW agencies. Overview of past scrutiny. Over the years, LHIN and PSW agencies in Durham region have undergone several investigations into their management practices and quality of care. These investigations have been carried out by various government bodies, including the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care and the Ontario Ombudsman's Office. While some issues were identified and addressed as a result of these investigations, many critics argue that more needs to be done. Results and conclusions from investigations. The results of previous investigations have been mixed. Some reports have revealed systemic issues with the management of long-term care facilities and PSW agencies, while others have found no significant concerns. Despite this, many feel that the investigations have lacked the objectivity and expertise necessary to bring about real change. Benefits of bringing in outside officials for investigation. Increased objectivity and credibility. One of the main benefits of bringing in outside officials to investigate LHIN and PSW agencies in Durham region is the increased objectivity and credibility that they bring to the table. By having impartial third-party experts examine the management practices and quality of care, stakeholders can have more trust in the results of the investigation. Expertise and specialization. Outside officials also bring specialized expertise to the table, with experience in areas such as healthcare management, law, and policy. This expertise can help identify underlying issues and provide recommendations for how to address them effectively. Improved accountability and transparency. Bringing in outside officials can also improve accountability and transparency in the management of long-term care facilities and PSW agencies. By having experts look into these organizations, those in charge can be held accountable for any shortcomings that are identified, and plans can be put in place to improve transparency going forward. Potential challenges and resistance to outside investigation. Obstacles to coordination and communication. One potential challenge to bringing in outside officials for investigation is the coordination and communication required between different organizations. Getting everyone on board and on the same page can be a difficult task, particularly when dealing with complex healthcare systems. Legal and financial implications. Another challenge is the potential legal and financial implications of an outside investigation. These investigations can be costly and time-consuming, and may require significant resources to carry out. Additionally, there may be legal challenges raised by the organizations being investigated. Impact on organizational culture and reputation. Finally, there is the potential impact on organizational culture and reputation to consider. Bringing in outside officials may be seen as an indictment of the existing management practices, which could impact morale and trust within the organization. Additionally, if negative findings are publicized, it could damage the reputation of the organization and impact their ability to attract new residents or clients. Steps forward: implementing changes and improvements. The recent allegations of abuse and neglect by personal support workers, PSWs, in Durham region have brought to light the need for serious and immediate changes in the healthcare system. It is time to take proactive steps to prevent these sorts of situations from happening again. Here are some steps that can be taken to address the root of the problem and ensure that patients and caregivers receive the quality care they deserve. Addressing systemic issues. It is essential to identify and address the systemic issues that contribute to abuse and neglect in the healthcare system. One crucial step is to implement mandatory reporting protocols for any instances of abuse, neglect, or mistreatment. This procedure should be enforced across all healthcare agencies, including the Local Health Integration Network, LHIN, and all PSW agencies. Additionally, effective whistleblowing safeguards must be put in place to protect individuals who come forward with allegations. Reforming hiring and training processes. It's crucial to ensure that the individuals working in the healthcare system are adequately trained and equipped to handle their job responsibilities. This means that all healthcare workers, including PSWs, must go through rigorous hiring procedures, including thorough background checks and reference checks. The training and certification processes must also be reformed to better prepare workers to identify and manage abuse and neglect, as well as to handle sensitive situations. Strengthening monitoring and oversight mechanisms. Finally, there needs to be a strengthening of monitoring and oversight mechanisms to ensure that healthcare agencies are held accountable for their actions. This includes regular inspections and audits of the facilities, as well as investigations into any allegations of abuse or neglect. The LHIN and other healthcare agencies must be held to a higher standard, and any violations or incidents of abuse must be met with severe consequences. Conclusion: addressing the needs of patients and caregivers in Durham region. In conclusion, it is time for the LHIN and all PSW agencies in Durham Region to be held accountable for their actions. These agencies are responsible for the care and well-being of some of the most vulnerable members of our society. The systemic issues that have contributed to the abuse and neglect of patients and caregivers must be addressed. By implementing changes in the hiring and training processes, establishing mandatory reporting protocols, and strengthening monitoring and oversight mechanisms, we can ensure that the needs of patients and caregivers are met with the utmost care and attention. In conclusion, bringing in outside officials to investigate the LHIN and PSW agencies throughout Durham Region holds promise for improving the quality of care and ensuring accountability. While there may be challenges and resistance, the benefits and potential positive impact on patients and caregivers make it a necessary step. As we move forward, it is important to address systemic issues and implement changes to strengthen monitoring and oversight mechanisms. By doing so, we can work towards a future where everyone in Durham Region, regardless of their care needs, can receive safe and compassionate care. What is the LHIN? The Local Health Integration Network, LHIN, is a government-funded organization responsible for planning, integrating and funding local health services in Ontario, Canada. What are personal support worker, PSW, agencies? PSW agencies provide in-home care services to patients who require assistance with activities of daily living, such as bathing, dressing, and meal preparation. Why do we need an outside investigation? While there have been previous investigations into the LHIN and PSW agencies, there are concerns that they may not be thorough or objective enough. Bringing in outside officials can provide a fresh perspective and greater accountability, potentially leading to positive changes and improvements. What can I do if I have concerns about the care provided by the LHIN or PSW agencies in Durham Region? If you have concerns about the quality of care provided by the LHIN or PSW agencies in Durham Region, you can contact the Patient Ombudsman at 1-888-321-0339 or visit their website at www.patientombudsman.ca. You can also contact your local Member of Provincial Parliament, MPP, to raise your concerns and advocate for change.